Alright guys, sorry, this is 3.3 long division. And before I do an example with polynomials, I do want to give you a refresher on how to do long division in general. So I have chosen 829 divided by 5. 829 divided by 5. This is just a refresher. You should know this, but if you don't, I guess not the end of the world. Divided by 5. So the number that we are dividing, and then the divisor, right? Boom, and boom. So how does that work? 8 divided by 5, it's 1, right? 5 can only go into 8 one time. What do we do from here? 1 times 5, and then we subtract, right? So 8 minus 5 is 3, and then I bring this down. So I have 32. What's 32 divided by 5? 32 divided by 5, 6. What do I do with the 6? 6 times 5, 30. What do I do with the 30? Subtract. 32 minus 30 is 2. 29. 29 divided by 5 is 5. Oops, sorry I wrote like that. 5. What do I do? Multiply, subtract. And what is this? It's leftovers. It's the remainder. So my answer is 165. And don't forget the remainder goes over the divisor. 165 and 4/5. So it's always good to double check. So is 829 divided by 5, 165 and 4/5? Let's see. Oh, I already did it. So I'll do it again. 829 divided by 5 equals 165.8. 0.8 is the same thing as 4 over 5. So it's good. That's how you do long division. So what will that look like here? This is the last example I'll do because it requires a placeholder. But let's start off kind of simple. So let's erase all this. Same exact. So I have x squared plus 6x plus 12 divided by x minus 3. So one thing that's different about this is that I will only be dividing by the first term. So what is x squared divided by x? It's x. And the book formats it in a way where you're always writing above the the appropriate terms in standard form. But if you choose to write the x over here, that's not the end of the world. It's just a interesting thing I noticed in the book. And then what do we do from here? We are going to go ahead and multiply. X times x is x squared. And x times negative 3 is negative 3x. And what do we do after we have multiplied? Just like in the previous problem, we subtract. So x squared minus x squared is nothing. 6x minus negative 3x is positive 9x. And then I'll go ahead and bring this term down. 9x plus 12. So next, I will go ahead and say 9x divided by x. That's positive 9. Then I'm going to go ahead and multiply. So 9 times x is 9x. And 9 times negative 3 is negative 27. And after I multiply, what do I do? Just like here, just go ahead and subtract. Oops. Sorry, could have probably made this line so it's nice and neat. Then I have 9 minus 9x, or 9x minus 9x is nothing. And then 12 minus negative 27 is 39. 39 cannot be divided by x. This is my remainder. So what does that look like? X squared plus 6x plus 12 divided by x minus 3 equals x plus 9 plus the remainder over the divisor. So again, it's multiply, subtract, and then remainder goes over the divisor, and that's it. So I'll do this problem, and obviously if you have any questions or you need to watch again, then watch again. If you have any questions, then ask. Let's do number 4. Notice that these problems are nice and neat in standard form. So the exponents are descending from 4th, 3rd, 2nd, and 1st. This will be an important thing for our very last example because we want to keep it in standard form, but if there's nothing there, like if there was no x cubed, if there was no 2x cubed, then we would have to give it a placeholder and call it 0x cubed. But a placeholder is just a substitute, right? Like it's just sitting there. Divide it by x squared minus x. So again, name of the game is divide, multiply, subtract. If you're like kind of robotic about it, or like your process or your steps or whatever, that's what it'll be like. So x to the 4th divided by x squared. So there's divide. I'm going to go ahead and multiply. So x squared times x squared is x to the 4th. X squared times negative x. Do not forget to account for that sign, whether it's positive or negative. X squared times negative x is negative x cubed. And then I'm going to go ahead and subtract. There. X to the 4th minus x to the 4th. 2x cubed minus negative x cubed is 3x cubed. 2 minus negative 1. Go ahead and bring that term down. Positive 5x squared. 3x cubed divided by x squared. So again, we're always dividing by the first term. 3x cubed divided by x squared is positive 3x. 3x times x squared is 3x cubed. 3x times negative x is negative 3x squared. I've multiplied and now I will subtract. Five minus 5x squared minus negative 3x squared. We're running out of room. I think we'll have space to finish. 8x squared. All right, here. 8x squared. Bring this down. 8x squared plus 3x. We're almost there. 8x squared divided by x squared. Positive 8. Multiply 8 times x squared. 8 times negative x. So 8x squared minus 8x. Subtract. And we are left over with, so let's see, 8x squared minus 8x squared is nothing. 3x minus negative 8x is 11x. So this is our remainder. So the answer is this divided by x squared minus x is x squared plus 3x plus 8 plus 11x over x squared minus x. And then not that I think you would have the time on this for like a test, but if you did have time for it and you wanted to double check, how do you check division? Right. So how do I And to give you a really basic example, it's like, oh, how do I know that 6 divided by 3 is 2? Well, if I multiply 2 and 3, that should bring me back to 6. So I have divided this. And again, I just don't want to write it because it's just going to be time consuming. Divided this by this to get that. So if I multiply these two using FOIL, or not FOIL, distributive property, or a table, then it will get you back to this whole thing. To check your answer, you could multiply these two using, again, distributive property or a table, and it will get you back to there. Okay, and now for the last example. I'm just going to do this problem from the textbook, but I wanted to cover it because there's a placeholder here, and we haven't talked about that, but you'll see it in some of the problems. So I'm going to multiply 2x to the fourth plus 3x cubed plus 5x minus 1 by x squared plus 3x plus 2. So we write it in standard form, but since we have fourth power, third power, and we're missing second power, we're going to write 0 for it. So anytime you're missing, you always want to write it in standard order, and if you're missing anything, then you write down a placeholder. And it's largely an organizational thing, or it's just an organizational thing. 2x to the fourth plus 3x cubed plus 0x squared plus 5x minus 1. Divided by, oh, and this one is actually a little bit tougher because we're dividing by 3 terms, or an expression with 3 terms, a trinomial. X squared plus 3x plus 2. But nothing will change. Literally, it's divide by the first term, multiply, and subtract. Maybe you guys can't see this well, so I'll move it all. I don't know. Okay. So first terms, 2x to the fourth divided by x squared is 2x squared. So go ahead and multiply. Don't forget to multiply by every term. So 2x squared times 2x squared times x squared is 2x to the fourth. 2x squared times 3x times positive 3x is 6x cubed. 2x squared times 2x is 4x squared. And what do I do after I multiply? That's right. Subtract. So 2x to the fourth minus 2x to the fourth is nothing. 3x cubed minus 6x cubed. Normally I would write it in its place, but since we're running out of space, then I'm just going to write it where I will have more space. So 3 minus 6 is negative 3x cubed. 0, x squared minus 4x squared is negative 4x squared. And then, go ahead and bring this down, 5x. Just so you don't forget it. Negative 3x cubed divided by x squared, negative 3x. Negative 3x, then we're going to go ahead and multiply this by every single term. So negative 3x times x squared is negative 3x cubed. Negative 3x times 3x is negative 9x squared. Negative 3x times 2 is negative 6x. I'll go ahead and subtract everything. Negative 3 minus negative 3. Negative 4 minus negative 9. Sorry. Organize this a little bit better. 5 x squared. 5x minus negative 6x is positive 11x. And then I'll go ahead and lastly bring down this 1. 5x squared divided by x squared is 5. And for the last time, multiply it by all the terms. Let me erase, so maybe it will make it neater for you. 1, 2, 3. So 5x squared, 5x times 3x is positive 15x. 5x times 2 is positive 5, or sorry, 10. Then we go ahead and subtract. Or sorry, 5 minus 5, 11 minus 15, and negative 1 minus 10. This is your remainder. Here's what that looks like. 2x squared minus 3x plus 5 plus the remainder. If you have any questions, let me know. Again, the first two examples was to give you the concept and to show you how to do it in practice. This last one, the main focus is on having this placeholder here. That's what I want to focus on. But also, it's a little more complicated because you're dividing by a trinomial. The process works exactly the same. So yeah, don't forget, you're always writing in standard form. If you don't have something, put a placeholder. It'll help you keep your answers organized. And if you have any questions, make sure you let us know. Oh, awkward.